Do you have any trust issues, or maybe you're reestablishing right now what it means to trust people in general? So, growing up, I was a people pleaser. I went on stage to perform all about me and be selfish, but the rest of my life, I was making people around me happy. I wanted to be liked, I wanted to be adored, I wanted to be the favorite. That was a big theme, being the favorite. And then as I got into like my late 20s, early 30s, I started really investigating myself because I was noticing that in relationships, not just with like close lovers, but like with friends and teachers and coworkers and bosses, I was having trust issues because I kept pleasing people and being hurt again and again and again and not being equal at the end of what it is I'm giving them and what it is they give me. It's almost like the time when you open up to someone about what's happening with you, and then all of a sudden they make it all about them, and you're there holding space for them, blah blah. You try to bring it back to yourself, and they keep it back on them. Exhausting, right? As I started stepping into my power of going, instead of letting everyone into the center of the castle, because I tell people it's like a kingdom. You know, there's the borders where the land starts. You get into the city. You have the inside walls where the villagers live. You have like a courtyard area, and then you have like the royal chamber court where they do like, government type stuff. You get into the bedroom, into the crown jewels. You have to do that with people. Let them in your kingdom. Give them an opportunity to be in your kingdom. But if they screw it up, don't let them in the village. Like wherever they screw it up, put them back out in the outside layer and tell them. You need to tell these people what it is that they're doing that's upsetting you and why they can't come in further. And what's really going to get frustrating is that when you start standing in your power, people will accuse you of having walls, of being pretentious, of being demanding or overly sensitive. They will come at you with ways to try to break down that layer of trust that you're not letting them in. And you don't owe it to these people. Like, look at me. You don't owe it to these people. The only person you owe it to is yourself and your higher belief. Whatever that is, your spirituality, your higher self, God, Allah, whoever you're into, Mother Earth herself, whoever you're into, those are the only people you need to show up for. You need to make sure that you are filling your cup and keeping yourself safe and secure and fulfilled regularly. And when people come in and they break trust or they try to push through your walls, they're trying to take from your cup. They're trying to take energy out of your cup because they're not happy or satisfied with what it is that you're giving through the overflow. And also what happens too is sometimes, and this happened last night, where as I was maintaining my boundary and saying, no, I'm very comfortable right now. Like, it's just like this person's giving me a lot of energy. Okay. And at some point I was being accused of like having these walls and not trusting people and blah. I was like, no, that's not what it is. Like, I'm fully fine right now. Like, but they were projecting their insecurities on me. And it's because I know who I am and I have layers of trust and vulnerability with every person. And it's like I told my friend who was there last night with this conversation, I said, like your husband, I do believe in trusting first. My instinct is to trust first. Love, accept, open yourself, trust first. But it's only one level in. And if you're not sure what your levels are, like your layers of vulnerability, you should figure that out. For sure, figure it out. Like make specific things. Like it can be from like someone you share your joy with that day, to people you tell your darkest secrets, to people you give money to whatever it is. Have these layers. And inside of those layers, there's an expansion of what does it mean to have trust, and what do people need to show me for me to show up and give them that layer of myself. And, and like what happened last night, I think that the more I kept the walls up, the more I was kind of like, that this person got deeper and deeper into themselves and started throwing their most unadulterated self all over me, I think in like a deposit to make me, I guess, open up. But to be honest, there wasn't really space to open up because the person was leading the conversation the entire time. Like 90% of the conversation was this person talking. I remember at some point I was like, said something about, I want to learn from you. And I was like, then stop talking. Stop talking so I can talk and tell you something. And there were a few download shares, but you are a castle. And the interior, the most center point of the kingdom, kind of like in The Hobbit, the Arkenstone inside the dwarf castle inside the mountain, that Arkenstone is your most precious gift. And do not let anyone inside to even look at that stone. They need to prove themselves. Trust first, but let people show you who they are and decide the level.